All right, our top story this morning. Israel is vowing to intensify its attacks after an Iranian missile plunged into a southern Israeli hospital earlier today. Jonathan.
Yeah, and back in Washington, President Trump is still considering his next steps as the conflict overseas enters its 7th day. We've got 2 reports for you now, starting with NBC News chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel.
Dozens of Iranian ballistic missiles rained down across Israel this morning. Sirens wailed as Israeli air defense systems sprung into action. But at least 4 of Iran's powerful missiles made it through. The Soroka Hospital in Beersheba in southern Israel took a direct hit, according to Israeli officials. The impact captured on a cell phone video. Inside, staff and security moved to evacuate patients and search for injured, with sections of the ceiling on the floor. Israel's defense minister called it a war crime, and Prime Minister Netanyahu saying, "We will exact the full price from the tyrants in Tehran." There were no deaths reported, but several injured. Iran said it was aiming for a military site near the hospital. Another missile exploded in Ramat Gan outside Tel Aviv, hitting a business district. And more buildings in nearby Holon. Search and rescue teams arriving quickly.
We have 5 buildings that were hit by the missile. We have one which is the main building and all the other ones surrounding it.
Israel is continuing its strikes across Iran to pick apart the country's military, destroying these Iranian helicopters and missile launchers and nuclear sites. But some nuclear facilities are buried so deeply only American bunker busters can reach them. Yuli Edelstein chairs the Israeli Parliament's Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee.
Is the main issue this super bomb that the United States possesses? Is that really the main capacity that the U.S. has that Israel would like to have?
In dry military terms, the answer would be yes. They have the capacity with less effort to get rid of one of the Iranian nuclear sites. We are not saying that we won't try to find our own ways to deal with that. With the United States, it could be much easier and faster.
This morning, President Trump remains publicly undecided on whether to order the U.S. military to join Israel's bombardment of Iran.
I may do it, I may not do it.
Telling reporters late Wednesday he's made no final decision on U.S. strikes.
I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, because things change. Especially with war.
And explaining how he'll arrive at what may be a presidency-defining conclusion.
Well, I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one.
But the United States' own intelligence agencies maintain that Iran has not made a decision to rush towards building an atomic bomb, according to the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee and a source with knowledge of the matter. Overnight, Iran's deputy foreign minister responding to the prospect of an attack from the U.S.
We will do whatever necessary to protect our people and our interests. We have no choice but to retaliate wherever we find the targets necessary to be acted upon.
Israel's airstrikes on Iran have likely already set back the country's nuclear program by a few months, according to 2 sources with knowledge of the matter. The president huddling with advisors in the Situation Room for a second straight day, and earlier suggesting to reporters he'd given Iran an ultimatum and that the window for a negotiated peace was closing.
Maybe you could call it the ultimate ultimatum, right?
And as the Pentagon moves a 2nd and 3rd aircraft carrier strike group towards the region in response to the ongoing conflict, lawmakers deeply divided on the wisdom of actively joining Israel's attacks on Iran in any capacity, a decision they can influence, but only the president will make.
The American people did not vote last November to be dragged into one more endless war in the Middle East.
So either you want them to have a nuclear weapon or you don't. And if you don't, if diplomacy fails, use force.
NBC News senior White House correspondent Garrett Haake with that report. Joining us now, Politics Bureau Chief and senior political columnist at Politico, Jonathan Martin, and political strategist and former advisor to Senator John McCain and President George W. Bush, Mark McKinnon. And Mark, you're looking at the sort of emerging dynamic between President Trump and Netanyahu. What are you seeing?
I think that Netanyahu's driving him like a truck. I think this notion of Donald Trump peacenik is just a myth. That was a politically expedient position that he took to get elected. But I think the core of who Donald Trump is all about aggression, offense. I mean, military parades. Well, that's why he supports authoritarians. That's why he likes Bibi. And also he likes to win. I think he thinks that right now the offensive that Israel has taken has been largely successful, and he wants some credit for that. And he doesn't want to be the guy at the end of the game who didn't pull the trigger and there were consequences. But so the problem is that if he does pull the trigger, what you have is what Ben Rhodes, Obama's guy, called potentially catastrophic success, which is you take it out, but then what?
Well, and
consequences.
That's certainly something that both Bush 41 and Bush 43 had. They had catastrophic success. They had approval ratings going up in the 80s and the 90s. I know you do. And then it ended very badly for both of them. So you can have catastrophic successes there. You know, Jay Moore, one of the reasons I find this to be such a fascinating, obviously an existential question for the president to answer, but just so fascinating given this president, is we have we really have two separate competing interests, and it's hard to tell which one's going to win out. One side, you do have the possibility of severely damaging Iran's capability of creating a nuclear weapon. And the president said no nukes for Iran, right? The other side of it, though, you have a president who's been contemptuous of forever wars in the Middle East for the past 25 years, who has mocked and ridiculed George W. Bush, Liz Cheney, and others who support those forever wars that not only Elizabeth Warren was talking about, but also most Americans would be talking about too. They do not want to be involved in another endless war in the Middle East. So where does a president come down here? What are you hearing?
You put your finger on it, Joe. I think there's been a lot of strong talk, but not much action just yet. I think he likes the idea of rattling sabers. I think he's okay with air power. Certainly did that in the first term. I think he's deeply uneasy about any possibility of boots on the ground. So I think if he's convinced that you can do this through the air, you never have to commit U.S. troops, maybe he's open to it. But, Joe, you're precisely on target here that Trump ran against two people. He ran against the Bush family and he ran against Obama and the Clintons. And so that gets to the heart of his dilemma now, is that he doesn't like either approach. I think he wants to be more of a tough guy. He doesn't want to be a sort of peacenik type. And so he doesn't want to be grouped as, oh, you're going to make the same mistake that Biden did in Afghanistan. You're going to give the Iranians the kind of deal that Obama did. He doesn't like that sort of grouping, but he sure as hell also doesn't like being compared to the forever wars of the 2000s, Afghanistan and Iraq. So I think that gets to the heart of this tension here, that Trump is against both of those political forces, the Obama crowd and the Bush crowd. And so I think that's why he can't really decide. But Mark put his finger on it, too. Trump wants ultimately to be on the side of who's winning. Right? Trump wants to side with who's winning. And right now, the Israelis have shown great success. You guys know this. If that attack hadn't gone well on night one in Tehran, Trump would never be with Bibi and the Israelis right now. Trump is a front runner. He wants to be with the guys who are ahead. And right now, the Israelis are winning.
Yeah, there's no question of that. And I think that to this point, per my reporting, there's been no conversation about American boots on the ground. It would simply be an airstrike, at least for now. And there's some reporting this morning from both Axios and The Guardian suggesting there are some doubts whether the bunker buster bomb actually would completely take out this facility that is buried so deep in that mountain. What we do know for sure is this bomb never been tested before in action, never been used in combat before. So there's things about it we simply don't know. So Mark, we're talking about the dilemma that the president is facing. He does one day he says one thing, one day the next. Some of that I think is intentional. Some of it reflects he's honestly not sure what to do. We're also seeing that divide in his base. We've been talking all morning about how this is splintering MAGA. The Tucker Carlson Ted Cruz interview sort of encapsulates that. But talk to us about what you're seeing about how this is really forcing those in the America First camp to take sides.
Oh, yeah, no question. I mean, this is an issue where Steve Bannon and Tucker Carlson really have their fingers on the pulse of the base, and they are truly isolationist. So this is a huge cleave, and it's interesting. It's not only a divide within MAGA, but it's also a divide within the administration. Trump sidelined his director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, because she came out with a report saying she doesn't think that the intelligence shows that they are prepared, that they do have nuclear preparation. So there's a divide in the base, there's a divide in the administration. So this is really going to be one of the most consequential decisions of Trump's presidency, both of them, I think.
Well, and there's a divide in the Republican Party, and there really has been, especially since we first came in as a freshman class in 1994. You guys will remember this. We were populists. We were conservative / populists, and were very reluctant about going to war. And we